Brett Morgan here, Gears Mining, Business Development Manager. I'm here with Damon Frizzell, one of the directors and the man in charge of operations. We're going to talk to you from the beam of the world's largest produced mill relining machine. It is 8,100 kilos. Now, we can do up to 12,000 kilos. This one at 8,100 kilos is currently the largest one in the world that has been manufactured. So we're going to get Damon into the operator's seat. He's going to show you some of the key features of the Gears Mining mill relining machine and why it's the preferred solution in the market today. Damon, it's really important for people to understand that this is the world's largest capacity machine.
Yep.
But whether they have the smallest capacity machine or the largest capacity machine, there's some really critical features that I'd really love you to go through.
Yep.
Because it's about safety, it's about performance, but I think most importantly it comes off the back of nearly 20 years of Gears Mining's experience. We might only be 10 years old, but you guys have been operating for 20 odd years in this space. So can you just run through this and show me what is different to the rest of the market? And I might ask a few questions about where it's come from, where the ideas have come from, what the benefit is.
Yeah. Well, as Gears is built on service and support in the field, we've taken all that feedback we've had from all the years of looking after these machines and put that into the design of this console. So the operators are sitting here the best part of 10 to 12 hours a day, so we want to make sure there's creature comforts here for them and it's easy to use for them. All our machines come with a standard touchscreen at the operator console, which is, this one has a larger version, which is a 7-inch. The other one has a standard offering as a 4.5-inch screen. It gives all the operator information he needs to know on what the machine's actually doing. So he can start and stop the machine from here. He can reset faults. He can see what faults come up if there are any. It tells him the boom angles and where all the geometry of the booms actually is in space. It tells you if the hydraulics are on or enabled. It tells you all the hydraulic pressures. One of the big problems we've come across is e-stops being bumped in the middle of the night. So all our e-stops, emergency stops are all lit green, and then they flash red when they're on. It also tells you on the screen as well, so when an emergency stop is depressed, it tells you which one's actually on, so it removes the need to search around the machine to find out which one's been depressed, because it's all on the screen here. In terms of the console, there's all the system pressures there, so it immediately alarms if anything goes over pressure, under pressure, oil temp, things like that. It's all up here at the operator's console.
And talk about how it's a CAN bus system, whereas I think traditionally a lot of systems are built on your old copper wires. So talk to me about the CAN bus.
So most machines out there are wired in an industrial electrical manner where everything's hardwired in. So ours is all CAN based and it's all harness based. So we've gone for an earth moving route where if you do sever a harness somewhere, if there's a rock or a bolt comes flying and severs a harness, instead of having to disconnect all that and undo all the wiring, it's just plug at either end, plug it back in, off go, you're back online very quickly. So that was one of the key things we found, is just because of all those years of servicing and maintaining all different types of line handlers, we found electrical faults were a big problem, so we've tried to eliminate all that out. Hence why we've gone CAN bus, because it's simple, it's easy, it tells you everything's going on. And then the harness-based system is purely around that, is just quickly back online again if you do break a harness. So
at the end of the day, 95% of your electrical problems aren't the actual components that they're operating, it's shorts or crushed
or crushed cable or something inadvertently, because it is a dangerous job, so things happen, so you've got to be aware for all cases in that. So that's why we've gone this way of harnessing up everything to make it easy for operators and maintainers to look after this equipment.
So not only does it make it fast to fix, that in turn makes it fast to get back up and operate.
Yeah, we've kept it simple, kept it easy to maintain, and kept it easy to keep online. So that's the whole idea of our system. So the screen on this machine also shows the operator where the liner cart is. So we track the liner cart position in and out. The operator can control it from here. This one has hydraulic slew, so he can turn the dial here to slew the liner cart around to where it needs to be.
You'll twist that dial to operate the slew angle.
Yep, so it'll turn the liner cart around to get the desired angle. The machine operator up here can also drive the liner cart in and out to get it to the exact position you want. We also have a threshold halfway along the beam, so as it comes through, it transfers ownership from the liner cart operator outside to the machine operator inside, so the control can't be both at the same time. In terms of joysticks, we've gone joystick standard control on all our machines, so there is an optional backup of lever if the operator prefers that, but we're finding most operators that use ours love the joysticks and don't go back to that. They also all have inductive capacitance, so these handles pick up the electromagnetic field running through humans. So you can push the lever around, nothing will happen until it actually picks up that a human's actually got hold of it. So even if someone,
for that safety, redundancy.
Absolutely, if someone leans on it or accidentally pushes it while you're not watching it, yeah, the machine's not going to take off and crush someone. Or,
does it need both hands?
So it's one hand per side, so you have to have the hand on whichever side you're operating to pick that up. So that's all laid out here. You can see the joystick layouts. When it flashes up on the screen, it goes green to let you know your hand's actually hold of it. We also have return to home mode on this machine. So after the operator's placed the liner, he simply pushes a button here and the machine will drive back and get ready to pick up the liner on its own. So
that's pretty important because that's low-level automation.
Correct, yeah. So it just makes it easier. It's one of the things that operators have asked for quite a few years is, can you make this thing go back to home ready to pick up the next liner? And that's what we've done. So
it'll use the fastest, most efficient trajectory to
correct.
get back to the liner card.
That's correct, yeah.
Whereas an operator might use 5 or 6 functions to try and get there, the machine knows where it is and where it has to get to.
The machine will first of all clear itself, get itself high, get itself away from all the operators on the ground, and then it'll start heading back towards the liner cart from there.
So first position is up to make it safe, and then it'll return back home.
Correct, yeah, so you can see that. Once you get the boom up as well, it also gives the operator clear vision of what's going on, so if he does need to stop it at any time, he just touches a joystick or any button on the screen, the auto function will shut down and it will stop immediately, so we have that backup.
So it'll actually stop in space.
It'll stop right where it is.
It won't just hand over to you.
No,
it'll stop, and then you've got to
take control and
pause and then start again.
Correct.
To take control.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think, obviously what you're talking about and the system that you've employed allows us to develop a automated machine, whether it's low-level automation, so safer, faster, easier to operate.
Yep.
But then, as we know, we've been working on the automated solution that allows us to provide a fully automated mill relining machine when the client's ready for it.
When they're ready for it, yeah. At the moment, we're mostly focusing on operator assist rather than full automation. So we still work with multiple reline companies, and this is a complex job. That's how this job is. So there's a lot of complexities, a lot of things
go. It's dynamic too, right?
It can change every inch even. So mill to mill, same mill can change job to job. So there's so many variables in that. So rather than going for that full automated, we've gone just making this easy for the operator so they have that thing. So similar to your car, we have cruise control and things like that. That's what we've tried to do here, is not go fully automatic, because you still need guys in there monitoring this job because it is complex, a lot of variables in it. So
and I find when I talk to clients in South America or North America, some of the big tier 1 mining companies, they want automation, but they also at the same time confess that they don't really know what full automation looks like.
Correct.
So I talk them through the standard levels of automation, because a lot of them say we're not ready to go to full automation yet. It's too expensive. The returns aren't there. It's not a proven technology in the market. For the number of mill relining machines that are out there in operations, there's only 1 or 2 that have got it installed, and they're not convinced yet because it's such an early time. So let's talk about the fact that when we automate systems, we actually work with the client. They might have a base machine that is not automated at all, and for us, our approach is that they don't actually need to replace that machine. We already have the spine in the machine that allows them to eventually go to a fully automated system.
That's correct. So being CAN-based, we just plug any additional extras they want into the machine. So we have a client who's already asked for remote control. It's a matter of our guys going to site. They literally plug in the remote control module and you're online. There's no hard wiring or anything like that, because everything's on the system already. You can just keep adding options on. We can go into our system and just keep opening up additional options as they need to, depending on how complex they want their machine to be.
Sorry to interrupt, but you can do that from site, or you can do that from here in Australia.
That's correct. So our machines also have an option of remote login. So these machines here have remote login. So we'll get a notification as soon as they start the machine on. So essentially we have technicians online ready to stand by. So we'll know if there's a fault before the guys on site even look at the screen and go on, because we'll get the data back to here to see what's going on. Being CAN-based too and having sensors and everything, we know where everything is in space, so we know that location of the grapple, the boom, everything like that. So again, that semi-automation's there, but we're working closely with the reline companies and operators to have operator assist to make their job easier and more efficient, rather than making harder for them and over complex. So because that's what they're after, is just make their life easier. So that's what we're all about.
Some of the work we've been doing here is that we can actually sit here with VR lenses and actually know where the machine is inside their mill and actually work with them.
Correct, yeah.
To actually show them how to operate it, where it needs to be and how to be more efficient with the machine.
Knowing where everything is and tracking all those movements, we can actually compare good operators versus learning operators as well. So you can pick up on tips on that, and they can track actually the amount of movements it takes to place a liner. So, and that helps with operator training as well. So, if you have those high level operators, they can then show the newer guys or the guys that are learning on how, you don't need to do this movement or do the movements in this order to get your liner on the wall quicker or to get the liner out of the mill quicker. So we can log all that information.
And, nothing will replace being on site.
Correct.
And actually working with the technicians, whether they're electrical, mechanical, hydraulic.
Yep.
Or working with the reliners. But the beauty of this system is that if someone's just got this little niggling problem, you can jump on
we can have
actually
a look at
troubleshoot it with them from here in Australia.
Correct. So all the fault codes, we don't have to count flashing lights or anything like that older technology you see around on other machines. So ours actually gives exact fault code on the screen, tells you what's going on. That's all linked to the manuals.
Almost talks to you.
Correct. And then they can call up and tell us what the fault is if they have it, if they don't have remote logging for us, and we can then walk them through that because we can see exactly what they're seeing on the screen. So it gives them that backup as well.
Yeah.
So on this machine here as well, we also gives the manuals on the screen essentially, so the operators can see what all the functions do. It gives them on there so they don't have to look down at the screen or look down at the joystick. It tells them on the screen what's going on. We also have keypad layouts, so again we can see the keypad, what's going on here. We have all the safety system. You have the high voltage system, which is also integrated here. So a common feedback we had from a lot of operators is you have to climb all the way down the machine to start it. Well, this can start from up here, providing everything is in a safe position, ready to start up, and all the emergency systems are happy. We're also monitoring the beam locations, line of cut locations, so outer and inner beam. All that information is all up here. You can turn the remote control, so this machine here has also remote control, so you can have the remote control up here, switch that if you want to go to remotes and then come back and switch it back to joystick. They're both interlocked, so you can't have both on at the same time. As well as that, there's a lot of other features up here. So there's a drink holder, because a lot of times the guys have, don't know where their drink bottles are. They're all over the place.
Hydration's important.
Exactly. So USB chargers, because everything's, whether it's the headset systems they're using or phone chargers, things like that. That's all up here. We also have what we consider to be the world's most comfortable line handle operator seat. So again, if you're sitting in this thing all day, you want something that's ergonomic, nice to sit in. Oh, there's nothing but worse for the guys than leaving with a sore back every day. So that's not what they want.
Ergonomics.
And the last thing is this using CAN system, we have the ability to run comms through this, so the inside crew can talk to the outside crew via the machine, so you don't have to worry about any loss of comms trying to get through the mill shell. And the last little feature which the guys also like is this machine is also Spotify compatible, so the guys can also listen to music if they want to while they're doing inside. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So that's all up here. We also have very clear vision over the top here, so there's nothing in the road. It's all easy access. They can have clear vision of what's going on in their surroundings, so that's very important as well, so they can see all their crew working with them.
Damon, talk to me about the e-stops. So, we can clearly see here this e-stop's green, so it's healthy.
Yep.
Talk to me about the benefit of that backlighting and the time that it can save. It's a simple little function, and it's come from years of experience out fixing machines. So talk to me about that.
All our relines that we go to, we log any downtime that we have, either caused by either mechanical failure, hydraulic failure, or operator error, or anything like that. And one of the common trends we're seeing is emergency stop shutdowns. That was due to either being bumped or knocked off. So we've tried to protect ours where we can, but also still allowing that good access to get to them in that scenario where you actually need the emergency stop. So they're also brightly lit, so they can be seen if you do have a partial light failure or an event like that inside a mill, you can still get to emergency stops. And when they're on, they're actually flash bright red, so you know which one is actually on and engaged. So that helps the operators reset the machine if they need to, if they've inadvertently bumped that or if they've had to use it. They can quickly work out which emergency stop's on and then pull that back off and get the machine up and running again. So yeah.
And I think that's really important, because that's a development in technology that isn't automation. It's not the latest and greatest. It's just core development that you've taken from your experience.
It's just making their job easier, because these guys don't want to be wasting an hour or 30 minutes looking around for which emergency stop's on or resetting them all and turning them off. You can just see which one. It's a visual indicator, quickly back online, get their job done. So we've
all seen the reline reports where they're down for a couple of hours trying to work out which e-stop is broken.
Yep.
and this actually shows it straight away.
Correct,
so,
yeah. Not only tells you out there visually, but it's also both screens. So the screen up here and the screen down below will both tell you which measuring stop's engaged. So yeah.
And I think that's really important because there's no extra cost to that. That's just part of our selection process.
Correct,
it's standard with every machine.
Yep, they all have that feature.
Yeah, and talking about standard and talking about automation, because everyone, honestly, everyone I talk to wants to know where automation is at, and I keep talking about it's the simple things that make a reline really efficient.
Yep.
The auto install, talk to me about that.
So on the majority of mill relines at the startup, when they have to swing the boom round, so most of the machines on the market do require the boom to be facing forward to drive it in the mill.
And what do they use to do that?
So a lot of times it will involve the operator climbing down the side of the beam, and there may be a case where the safety guys on site do have to turn a blind eye to that, or there might be an option for a turntable pendant to do that, but a lot of times they're either lost or they're like they get crushed during that movement, or they're just not available, they're full of water, things like that. So we've made ours so it's all automated from the base frame down there. So it's a two-step process with a dead man button on it. So it allows the operator to position the machine ready to drive into the mill. And they do all that from the ground. No one has to climb up on the side of the boom or anything like that, or do anything that's unsafe.
Use
it's
a
all done.
broomstick to hit
Correct.
levers.
I've seen all that. There's bits of rope. I've seen guys climb up ladders. So you don't have to do that, or climb on or hang onto the side of the machine as it goes round. You remove all those working heights, risks, and everything that goes with all those hazards. So it's all done from the ground. It's all done safely. So once it goes into the mill, we then also have another one where it's seat installation mode. So the machine will then, you push another button, the machine will swing round and ready for the operator to then put the seat in. This machine here has safety rails which go all the way out, so they'll lock into position as the operators come out, so they can tie after that for full arrest harnesses, put the seat in safely. After that, the operators are good to go. We also have a pack-up mode, so in the same thing, once the machine's out of the mill, you then have to pack the boom up. So again, it's done in the same way with guys climbing all over the machine, doing unsafe. So this machine, you push the button and the machine will pack itself up, ready in a park mode, and you park it up, covers on, and the job's done.
And the covers that come standard with every machine?
Yep, so all the machines come standard with covers. We make them out of thick, heavy-duty tarpaulin, so they're all covered up, so it keeps everything dry.
The solution that you guys are putting to the market, it shows that Gears Mining has come from a service background, not an engineering background. We didn't start making machines and they're getting dragged into service.
Yep.
We started with not only the 10 years at Gears Mining, but the 10 and 15 years before that.
Correct, yeah.
Of working on these machines and talking to clients and actually understanding where the losses are and where the gains are to be made.
Yeah, so having that history of tracking all the downtime in every single reline we've been on in the last 10 years of Gears, we have all that data there which we can sort and filter to whatever we want to find out all that information. So all the common faults, all the common breakdowns, all the call-outs we've had in the middle of the night, that's what we've tried to eliminate. And one of the big things was emergency stops and electrical faults. So we've used the same philosophy as Caterpillar in terms of harnessing and Deutsch plugs and things like that, all waterproof. So you can take a high pressure wash this whole machine. You're not going to worry about anything, water getting anywhere or upsetting plugs or anything like that. All our plugs are rated for that. That's specifically what they're designed for, is take that rugged outdoor use. So even if you do, covers get lost or get forgotten to be put on, this machine can quite help you sit outside for months on end, and you can push the button, it'll start straight up and you're back into it again. So,
and that fast loop of going from technicians back to engineering and incorporating that into the next design is almost immediate for us. Yeah,
it's one of our core team values, company values, is to have continuous feedback and get things right. So these machines will always be evolving, we're always having operator feedback. So all that was taken on board. It's not just ignore. These guys are using these things all day, every day. So their input is highly valuable.
Critical. Absolutely. And our clients, like I know myself, when I'm out talking with clients all over the world, they're wanting to know who Gears are, and now they know, world's largest machine, but also they want to know what do we do different and how do we do differently and how do we differentiate ourselves. And with all of them I say that, we can work on any mill relining machine that's in the market. We actually focus on not just being a company that focuses on mill relining machines, but also the crushers, inching drives, and a whole lot of other maintenance equipment around the mine site. But the most critical thing is that feedback that comes back from site, makes it through to the design team, and makes it through to the next machine. One of the things that's really important is that these machines are customised to every mill, every mine site around the world, but obviously, well maybe not obviously for everyone, but it's a customised solution built up of standardised parts. But one of the things that we really want our clients to understand is whether it is the lowest level of automation right through to fully automated machine, or whether it's a longer electrical cable, or whether it's the LED lights, the balloon lights, or whether it's standard LED lights on the front of the machine, we are absolutely flexible.
Yep.
And we actually want our clients to have some input into their own machine, like this one, where it's going off to our client in Zambia. It's the world's largest capacity machine, but they actually wanted some extra design elements over and above what we do.
Yep.
Because they felt that that was what was important for their side.
That's correct. So obviously we're not using the machines all day every day, so it's important for the end user to be happy with what they're getting. So yeah, everything we do is based around what they want. So this machine here, obviously the world's largest, the next machine is coming through, this machine will actually nearly pick up. So in terms of that, it also has its own features which the client wanted on there as well. So we're more than happy to work with them to get a machine they're happy with at the end, because at the end of the day, they're the guys that are using it all day, all year round. So it's no point having them something they don't like using. So all sorts of features can be added in, and the benefit of all our machines is if they want a feature added in later on that they've seen on one of our machines on the other site, well, because of the CAN system and all the other features used, that's an easy add-on.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly,
all. Every machine's upgradable to whatever they want. So
and I think the key element that we're trying to get people to understand is that's true flexibility.
Correct. Yeah. So it's all about client interaction, making sure they're happy to use this thing.
Yeah.
So we're not the guys sitting here using it all day every day. They are. So it's important for them to be happy with it. So we'll work with them to get whatever they want for that. So yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.